Greetings once again, Supersonic Warriors. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Sonic the Hedgehog by IDW. Previously, the infiltration mission of, and let me try to get this right, Eggperial City went south when Sonic, Tangle, Whisper, and Lanolin tried to do a little bit of reconnaissance, getting deep into the bowels of the city to see that it was taking minerals from the land underneath in order to grow and evolve. The new group known as the Diamond Cutters, made up of Tangle, Whisper, and Lanolin, found themselves in a kind of out-of-phase state with our reality, acting almost as ghosts, but they've chosen to use this opportunity to try to get a little bit of recon it. Meanwhile, Sonic has called in Tails, Amy, Blaze, and Silver to help out, to figure out what has happened to the Diamond Cutters, and to take down this ever-growing menace. But just as our heroes finally start to get in the groove of things, deciding that whatever happened to the Diamond Cutters, they should probably not do too much damage to the city. Who should show up doing too much damage? Team Dark. Will they ultimately be a help or a hindrance to our hero's mission? Join me as I find out, won't you? A very nice cover by Thomas Rothlinsberg. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but I love the fun of Sonic sitting on Amy's hammer, and the hint of Rouge that I didn't catch when I saw the solstice for this. I saw the bomb in the background, but I didn't realize that it was like the destruction from Team Dark. Explosions from Omega, Rouge's bomb, Shadow's Chaos Spear, essentially attacking the whatever energy geodes, the fake Chaos Emerald-like things that are peppered throughout the Eggperial City. I do have to wonder, will we see Sonic and Shadow come to blows over how to handle this situation? Wouldn't be surprised. Alright, story by Evan Stanley, art by Adam Bryce Thomas, colors by Valentina Piento, letters by Sean Lee, editor Riley Farmer and David Marriott. Let's jump in. Got a little bit of a recap. Sonic and the Diamond Cutters were investigating. The Diamond Cutters have found themselves out of phase, and making the best out of a bad situation, they've decided, let's do some investigation. Sonic's team has figured out what's powering the tower, and Team Dark has come in to complicate things. We have an absolutely stacked cast. Like, jeebus, I have never seen the roll call this filled. But Sonic the Hedgehog, the Blue Blur, fastest thing alive, Tangle the Lemur, Excitable Hero, Diamond Cutter, Whisper the Wolf, Silent Sniper, also Diamond Cutter, Lanolin the Sheep, Woolen Warrior, also Diamond Cutter, Amy Rose, Hammer Swinging Heroine, Restoration Ally, Miles Tails per Hour, Tech-Savvy Sidekick, High-Flying Genius, Silver the Hedgehog, Young Psychic Hero, Friend from the Future. I just love the alliteration in these things. Blaze the Cat, Fire-Powered Princess, Friend from Another Dimension, Shadow the Hedgehog, the Ultimate Life Form, Sonic's Grim Rival, Rouge the Bat, Treasure Hunting Spy, Restoration Ally. Very interesting note, she has helped out the restoration here and there, but it's sometimes hard to tell if she's doing it to be kind or just get what she wants. E123 Omega, Rogue Super Badnik, Robot Hunter, and Dr. Eggman, Mad Genius Egg Enthusiast. Alright, we see a horde of badniks, flying badniks specifically up above. An intense look from Shadow. Man, already, Adam Bryce Thomas, art is going off the train. Also, expect the female characters to look a specific kind of way. Sonic is shocked to see Shadow there, and I love the pure fear on Tails' face, like jeebus. And I love this shot of Shadow turning away, holding a severed badnik head, simply saying, Sonic. Like, just to address him. Like, Shadow? Sonic. Rouge gives the salutations to the pair, saying, hey there, kids. And I love Omega's Gatling gun just smoking. Man, what a dynamic shot. Reading this on my Kindle, by the barrage buzz bombers all prepare to fire. What is going on with Blaze? Silver, Amy, and Blaze join the proceedings, and for some reason Blaze is upside down. I know she has a bit of a fear of heights, but what happened there? Sonic goes from shock to just vibing with it in no time flat, saying, I'm flattered that you'd want to come rescue little old me, but as you can see, you're a little late to the party. Shadow simply leaps past Sonic saying, I have no idea what you're talking about, nor do I care. But Rouge, ever the one to schmooze things over, cozies up to Sonic saying, sorry, Blue. I called my boys in to see what we could do about this delightful little bird that doctors put together. While Omega says the more Eggman concentrates his forces, the more I can destroy. Omega says as he continues to just blast down badniks in the sky. While Sonic simply says, that tracks. Although Amy quickly breaks up the little closeness going on between Rouge and Sonic as she eyes Rouge down saying, that's awfully altruistic of you, for you, Rouge. Rouge says, is it? It is, isn't it? And if we happen to find anything interesting in, say, Eggman's private vault, I intend to reward my good behavior handsomely. That also tracks. Tails gets excited though, saying, well, whatever your reason, you're here now. Why don't we team up to take out the city? Silver shares Tails' enthusiasm, saying, yeah, strength in numbers. Omega leans down to Rouge, saying, Rouge, this conversation is irrelevant to our mission. Rouge waves everyone off, saying, you heard the robot. No hard feelings, but you'd only slow us down. See you around. And they depart with Omega saying, I will attempt not to hit any of you in the crossfire. I feel like he should emphasize, note, attempt. As Team Dark races off, Sonic is naturally grumpy, saying, only slow us down my foot. Blaze tells them, together or not, their efforts can only aid ours. Sonic says, it's the principle of the, but he's cut off before he can continue, and I love the just done with it look Sonic has on his face as Eggman comes over the comm saying, hello, Sonic and all you simpering tag-alongs. At last I can properly introduce you to my latest creation. This is my City of Tomorrow, a self-replicating, self-repairing metropolis unlike anything the world has ever seen. This sounds straight up like off of Sonic Heroes. Go ahead, try to destroy it. For every building you level, a dozen more will rise to take its place. You know what? I think this occasion calls for something special. Yes, a surprise I've been saving for quite a while. And a giant aerial badnik opens a hatch and, oh geez, shadow androids come pouring out. Oh geez, Whisper's not gonna like seeing this, and I love the look on Shadow's face when he sees all these shadow androids pouring out. Welcome to Eggperial City. My shadow androids will be happy to show you around. Enjoy your stay, short as it may be. Oh, I'm glad he's having fun. Is he eating popcorn? Yeah, he's eating popcorn. Nice. Orbot says, excellent intimidation speech, boss. Eggman laughs. Of course it was. Ho 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 ho. I'm going to enjoy this. It's been too long since a plan came together properly. Look at them, already floundering, and I've barely even begun. Building badniks meant to mimic Shadow's superior skill sets really was a stroke of genius. I knew holding on to them would pay off someday. Sonic's going to regret coming back here. And it looks like Metal Sonic wants to get in on the action. It's funny. It's started getting easier to kind of read Metal Sonic's reactions, and out of phase with everything going on, the Diamond Cutters are listening into all of this, and as Eggman says, hey Cubot, you got any of that shaky cheese stuff for the popcorn? We see Lanolin sneak further into Eggman's base, Whisper following behind her, while Tangle looks a little nonchalant about the whole situation, while Cubot tells Eggman, you know it, boss. Eggman laughs, ha ha, excellent. Meanwhile, Tangle gets up and close and personal with Metal Sonic, as Lanolin tries to whisper/yell, well, Tangle, get down! And Tangle just passes her hand through Metal Sonic's head saying, why? Lanolin facepalm saying, it's just how you do these things, okay? I don't blame her for being a little cautious. Like, even if they can't see you now, there's always the chance whatever's causing you to kind of stay out of phase with things could always wear off with you being in the middle of Eggman's base. Tangle tells Lanolin, but it's not like they're gonna spot us. Lanolin kind of sighs exasperated, saying, fine. I guess it'll make checking out the room easier. There's gotta be something useful in here. But I guess once they see what's on the monitors, Lanolin is shocked, saying, whoa, what are those? Tangle says that is what happened to the first diamond cutter. Gee, you see Whisper's eye just trauma. I love that you could see Whisper slowly taking her mask off in the panel, and it kind of looked like Tangle was rushing to Whisper, and then you just see her eye looking like, oh god, it's happening again. Oh yeah, and Whisper just sinks down, saying no. Ugh, with her basically barely hearing Tangle's voice as Tangle reaches out her hand saying, whoa, hey, I got you. And Whisper says, it's too late. They're going to... As Tangle picks Whisper up, she holds Whisper by the shoulder saying, listen to me. It's not happening again because I won't let it, okay? We're going to figure this out. Aw, gotta love that caring side. Aw, and Tangle even gives Whisper a hug saying, I promise. Oh, such sweetness. And then Tangle and Lanolin both put their hands on Whisper's shoulders, just giving her a bit of a moment. Aw. It looks like they're sitting down, too. It's just like, we'll go when you're ready. Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, from that sweetness to the friggin' dead eyes of the shadow androids. You got Silver in the background, just stopping all the flying badniks. Sonic trying to defend himself against the shadow androids. Sonic asks, what are we looking at here, bud? Tails accesses his Miles electronics saying, I don't know. Definitely robots, but they're so fast I can't get a clear reading. As the swarm of shadow androids just proceed in further, like, man, that's creepy. Meanwhile, Blaze revs up an attack saying, get back, and she unloads her fire to put down a suppressing wall. Oh, jeez. And then the shadow androids just simply walk through, with Blaze saying, that should have stopped. That didn't stop them, but a Pico hammer to the face. That's enough to stop a lot of things. But it looks like the one she hit managed to grab a hold of Amy's hammer. God, just gotta love the panels they have of just all the androids continuing to march forward. Sonic then calls out to Silver, time to go. Hey Sylv, can you get me a ramp? Silver, still dealing with the aerial badnik, says, ugh. Sure. And I love the panels of him just struggling. And he grabs something and it's like he's pulling it up. Oh, okay, there it is. I was wondering, I'm just like, what is he doing exactly? And he just brings the road that everyone is standing upward. And I love the panel of Blaze just still firing at all the shadow androids. Like she's almost like she's like suppressing the direction of her blaze and just like firing a concentrated blast of heat in one direction. Meanwhile, as Silver brings up the slab of concrete, it's obvious that Amy and Tails are losing their balance while Sonic is like steadying himself and he grabs them both by the legs and just like, nope, legs back on the floor. As he says, night. He calls out to everyone, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to bounce, yeah? As he reaches out for Tails and he brings in Amy close who says, please. And Sonic rushes off the ramp with Blaze barely hanging on to Tails's, tail. It's also very cute where you have Amy just squeezing in on him and she's blushing a little bit. As the team makes their way over a little bit, they get near Team Dark with Silver calling out, hey, is that Shadow and the others? Sonic says, looks like they're handling things well. If we join forces, maybe we can gain the upper hand. I don't know, buddy. It looks like Blaze then says, allow me. Grabs Amy's hand, and I think that was supposed to either be... Is that Sonic or is that Tails' hand? I think someone accidentally colored in one of the cuffs gold, because only Amy would have a gold cuff unless she's grabbing a hold of Silver as well. And then it almost looks like she just rockets everyone forward. Meanwhile, over with Team Dark, Rouge calls out, this isn't looking good, while Shadow, grappling with some of the Shadow androids, says, the Doctor is trying to overwhelm us with numbers, but there's no strategy to their movement. Easily manipulate. Once we move to a better position, we could take them out. But the Blaze then comes in throwing like cannonball launching Amy and I think it's Sonic down to where Shadow is. taking out 2 of the shadow androids he was grappling with. Sonic then pops up, flicking his nose, saying, "You got some cousins you never told us about or something?" Shadow says, "Please, these cheap copies don't deserve to wear my face." Sonic then gives one of the shadow androids a kick to the face. Cathartic. Looks like Blaze comes in with a flaming karate chop to another. And Amy, hammer time. The shadow android bodies are hitting the floor. And Blaze has like this demented look in her eyes, like Jeebus. While Amy raises her hammer, saying, "So you do know them?" "Oh right, they never ran into the shadow android." I have to assume that Omega dealt with what was aboard one of the Egg Fleet ships, but of course Eggman had more. And Amy says, "So you do know them?" Shadow says hard, "These are just cheap copies created by the Doctor. He will pay dearly for this insult." Yeah, whatever you say, buddy. Meanwhile, Omega is being overrun, and he says, "Error, stabilizer failing." Rouge calls out to Omega, and what's going on there, buddy? Yeah, he's just being overrun. They're piling on him as Omega goes down, saying, "Do you think this will stop this unit? Your feet and or legs are forfeit." Rouge calls out, "Now would be a great time for those fancy powers of yours." Shadow says, "Impossible. I don't have the energy to perform chaos control without an emerald." Which was an update that Sega made that's just like, oh, he can only perform chaos control with an emerald. It's like, he's done it without an emerald. In the Shadow the Hedgehog game, though. Whatever. Even Ian has called out how, like, no, that's not how that works before. But, hey, Sega's the boss. Tails then whispers over to Shadow, "Hang on, Shadow, these crystals are generating chaos energy. Can you use that?" Shadow says, "So they are, but the energy is distorted." He starts to power up, saying, "Fake emerald. I hate to stoop to using such a pale substitute, but it will do." Then powers up and explodes with chaos energy, saying, "Chaos control!" And he just starts teleporting all over the place. It's kind of hard to read what's going on in the scene, but it looks badass. You even got a scene of what looks like him just shoving a chaos spear through one of the shadow androids. It's wild. And after Shadow finishes and you see shadow android parts just falling all over the place, and Shadow just cools off. He's steaming and sparks of energy are coming off of him. He says, "Much better." Tails, Amy, and Silver go, "Yeah!" Rouge has a pompous look on her face, and Blaze just... she's got a look like, the hell was that? She looks genuinely like perplexed, like, what? While Sonic just coughs, saying, "Maybe I should give it a try." Oh, but Shadow goes back in on the attack, saying, "Don't celebrate yet. Chaos." Oh, okay, yeah. The recoil from the knockoffs are starting to hit him pretty bad, huh? Like he ate too much Taco Bell. Huh, that's weird. Did the chaos control, like, launch everybody else up in the air? Because suddenly Amy, Sonic, Tails, and Blaze are like skyward, and Silver's trying to catch them. And then Shadow, like, has to take a knee for a moment. Rouge calls over, "Shadow, what's happening?" And Shadow says, "It's too much." And he doubles over in pain, screaming. And then suddenly a massive blast erupts out of him skyward. Like, yeah. And you just... it's one thing to, like, focus it through with, like, one Chaos Emerald, but, like, maybe if he was touching one of the big emeralds, that'd be one thing, but he was just drawing in whatever Chaos energy was just around. Jeez. He just lets off a massive explosion of just... it's almost like he fired a Kamehameha out involuntarily. Don't you hate it when that happens? Just going about your business and you just fire off a Kamehameha out of nowhere. But it looks like it took out 2 of the drop ships that were launching all those shadow androids out. Ooh, and it just starts to level the entire area around everyone. Tails takes Amy aloft as she calls out for Shadow and Omega. Sonic is bouncing across the rubble. Silver takes Blaze, who... she's always so unsteady. Like, Blaze has been so ungraceful in this issue. Like, Silver has her, and she's just like, oh god. Meanwhile, Rouge goes racing off, saying, "Run, Amy. I'll get the, oh, but like massive spikes appear like inches in front of her. Like she can barely do what she can to avoid all of it. Jeez, what happened to Shadow and Omega? Meanwhile, back in the control room, a Cubot calls out, boss? Is that supposed to happen? Eggman slams his bowl across one of the monitors, his bowl of popcorn, saying, of course Shadow would cause trouble. Whisper puts back on her mask, saying, Chaos Overload? Tangle questions, what's that? While Lanolin says, I don't know, but it sounds important. But then Eggman presses a button. An alert comes over saying, emergency limiter activated. System restarting now. Okay, so he planned for any kind of chaos overload, essentially. As Eggman says, not today. And I guess the whole system kind of shuts down momentarily. As Eggman says, cute, very cute. But it'll take more than that to take out my city. And geez, Amy, Sonic, Tails, Rouge, Silver, and Blaze stand on a nearby building watching that entire section of the city just crumble in on itself. Amy sits down on the edge saying, phew, looks like things have finally calmed down. What the heck was all that? Tails pulls out his Miles electronic with Sonic and Amy crowding around him, with Tails saying, some sort of runaway feedback loop, I think. But is it a security measure or a design flaw? Man, I wish I could analyze this in my lab. Meanwhile, Rouge is off on her own, looking sullen, and Sonic notices this and calls out, hey, they're tough, maybe the toughest. Rouge simply says, I know. While Silver gets excited, saying, and now that we know that what we're up against, we can figure out a way to take him out. Blaze says, agreed. You will not be parted from your friends for long. Rouge smiles, simply saying, the way you stay so chipper truly is a wonder, Blue. Sonic puts his hand on Rouge's shoulder, saying, it's simple. I'm just looking forward to the look on Shadow's face when we rescue his sorry butt. And as the power comes back on in the control room, Orbot says, oh, there we go. Cubot, who had gotten some candles, says, I guess we won't be needing these then. Eggman accesses his control panel, saying, power restored. Eggnet power rebooting. And the Undercity security had only a momentary outage. Good. But we're trapped. Can a single bandit get eyes on those animals? Meanwhile, the Diamond Cutters, who are right in front of Eggman with him passing his hand through their faces. Lanolin's reading the console saying, that power surge nearly crippled the entire city. If we can trigger another one, a bigger one, and stop Dr. Eggman from throttling it at the last second, this place is history. Tangle gets excited, saying, I like the sound of that. But as Lanolin says, we just need a way to, Something happens to her hand. What's going on? Lanolin says, steady, nobody... oh no. And as Lanolin says, panic, Eggman says, as he looks straight down at the Diamond Cutters. Yep. I knew it. There was a reason to be sneaky. You never knew when this whole incorporeal thing was going to stop. And there it is, having stopped. I do love the fact that Whisper is ready to kill Eggman. Oh jeez. This shot of Eggman looming over them. Eggman just staples his hands and says, I've seen you two before. And it looks like you ran into my spatial displacement trap. Enjoying your time left helpless and invisible, eh? Oh, he then summons, with a press of a button, summons more of them? And Metal Sonic is at the ready behind him as Eggman says, you almost got out when the power dipped. I knew I should have updated those earlier models, but don't worry. I have the latest, greatest version right here. A trip through one of these should scatter your atoms into oblivion. Oh boy. And Whisper, wasting no time, starts blasting. Oh, okay, so they're visible, but they can't touch anything yet. As Whisper's shot goes right through Eggman, as he says, ha, your trap. My trap separated you and your precious Whisper from normal space. You can't touch me. Oh jeez. And then suddenly all the weird spatial traps surround Whisper. Uh-oh. Tangle goes in screaming no. And, oh jeez. All Whisper can do is scream out as she is hit with all the energy. And then the trap closes. Tangle is surrounded as well. Lanolin shoves Tangle out of the way just as the trap is ready to go off. She calls out to Tangle saying, "Find the others. Tell them what to do. Tell them." And then the trap closes in on Lanolin as well, with all Tangle can do being look on in horror. Tangle then finds herself backed up against the window as the traps start to close in on her as well. Eggman, petting Metal Sonic's head, says, "What a shame. Such precious knowledge, but no way to use it. Nowhere to run, no way to fight." But again, she can be seen, but can't be touched by physical objects. So as Tangle backs up against the window, she just kinda phases through it. And Tangle, realizing this is her chance, jumps right out the window. See, the question is, with a limited amount of corporealness, what happens when she reaches the bottom? Man, that was an intense ending, though. I have to assume that they're just trapped in those balls. Eggman said their atoms would be scattered, but, I don't know, that has to be reversible or something. And I wonder where Shadow and Omega ended up. Gee. Alright, so the question now is, can Tangle make it to everyone, and specifically Tails, to tell them what the plan is? It's pretty straightforward, all things considered, but the thing that is the most challenging here is just the unpredictable nature of the Eggperial City. It's basically just one of those final levels in any Sonic game. I do find myself wondering how everyone overcome this, because there's the question of what other traps does Eggman have here? And with those weird out-of-phase trans-dimensional traps or whatever, is he gonna unleash that against Sonic and the rest of the gang? It's kind of weird if it only ever gets used on the Diamond Cutters, so, Alright, not bad. I had a lot of fun with this one, but it mostly felt almost like a bridge to what happens next. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Where do things go from here? Tangle at the very least is visible, so she should be able to somewhat get the word out to everyone else, but I don't know, is it a good thing or a bad thing if she hits the ground or not? How does she free the others? And the question now is, Sonic said he wanted to try what Shadow did. Will he be able to do it? He has tapped into fake emeralds before, and given the weird feedback that happened to Shadow, that might not be such a great idea. It's interesting. I'm interested to see what happens. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for more Sonic the Hedgehog. And until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.